This is the Gerry Callahan Show.
Admittedly, I was a little young on July 16th, 1969. I don't have a vivid memory of sitting in front of the TV, but I have read about it, and I have seen the movie, and I know the history. It was an amazing day for America. It was an amazing day for mankind. An estimated 650 million people around the world watched as Neil Armstrong walked on the moon and described it as one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. That was July 20th. After 4 days getting there, the crew of Apollo 11 reached the moon and everybody celebrated. Everybody was in awe. It was just an amazing, galvanizing moment where people came together and celebrated an American achievement for humankind. That's not how it worked yesterday. Admittedly, it wasn't as big a deal. They didn't walk on the moon. But what Elon Musk and SpaceX and NASA did was just breathtaking. I've said before, I admit I'm not a big space guy. I'm not a space wonk. I don't follow all these excursions into space by SpaceX or NASA, but I did watch yesterday, and so did lots of people. And if this didn't make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, there's something wrong with you. And there's something wrong with a lot of people in this country right now, because this was just awe-inspiring. The landing, the splashdown, the good old-fashioned splashdown was just amazing. It went perfectly. The lunar capsule, not the lunar capsule, the capsule which left the International Space Station a couple days ago, landed perfectly. It was going at a speed of 16 miles an hour. It landed at 5:57, which was the exact moment it was scheduled to land. 4 parachutes carried it down gracefully, perfectly, landing in the Gulf of the Gulf of America, as the NASA lady who was doing play-by-play said. We have splashdown in the Gulf of America. And perhaps adding even more theater to this, a pod of dolphins surrounded the capsule after it landed, and the rescue ship came to lift the capsule onto the ship, onto the back of the boat, and they got the 4 astronauts, including Butch and Sonny, who were left stranded in space for 9 months by Joe Biden. Got them out so far. We think they're healthy, they're good, they're recovering right now, and it couldn't have gone better. It was a perfect day. The sea was like glass. Everything went beautifully. And I think I speak for lots of people, lots of Americans, where I just sit there in absolute awe, wondering, how do you do this? Anytime you see a rocket go up to space, anytime you read or hear about what they're doing in the space program, it's just mind-boggling. It is so incredibly complex, so incredibly intricate that you could take a spaceship, shoot it up in space, hook up with the International Space Station, hang out for a while, get back in another rocket, come back to Earth. These are just the best and the brightest, not just Musk, everybody at SpaceX, everybody at NASA. They're just amazing high achievers and just amazingly brilliant people. And I think there's a difference this time between the moon landing in 1969 and this rescue effort by Musk and SpaceX yesterday. In 1969, I don't think anybody was pissed off because Neil Armstrong was a Republican. I don't even know if he was a Republican. But it was not just, it was a glorious moment, a great moment, a patriotic moment. And I think the the most incredible part of it is half the country, maybe not half the country, but I will say tens of millions of Americans were pissed. They were disappointed. Let's be honest. Even if they say they're thrilled about this, they're lying. They're pissed because Elon Musk did it. Because it was a good day for Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And the anti-Trump forces, the angry, violent left in this country only cares about stopping Trump, hurting Trump. So when they saw this, they were disappointed, if not pissed. They wanted it to go awry. I'm not saying they wanted Sonny and Butch to die, but they didn't want it to be a great triumphant moment for Musk and Trump and America. We have reached peak Trump and Musk derangement syndrome. We've gone so far over the cliff in this country where today, not only are people disappointed that Musk pulled this off, they're happy that there are mobs, there are activists, there are rioters, there are protesters, there are violent criminals attacking Elon Musk and Tesla and Cybertrucks and celebrating a great American company, Tesla, the stock is falling, and people are intimidated. People don't want to buy Teslas because they're afraid what these angry leftists, what these violent Democrats are doing. And I have an easier time understanding how you send a rocket in space than I do understanding this violent outburst from the left. And I'm not exaggerating here. I was thinking about this yesterday, watching all these attacks, all these crimes, violent crimes against Musk. We've seen the left get violent. God knows they're violent people. The Democrat Party is a violent party. And I'm not saying they all commit violence, but very few condemn it when you see it. Very few speak out. We saw that in 2020, 2021 with the George Floyd riots. They not only didn't condemn it, they encouraged it. Hell, the vice president who ran for president not long ago said they won't stop and they shouldn't stop. That was the comment from Kamala Harris when she saw the rioting from coast to coast after George Floyd OD'd while resisting arrest. My Congresswoman, Ayanna Pressley, said we need unrest in the streets. They encouraged violence. That's what they do. So why should this be any different? They're reacting violently to Elon Musk taking a role in the Trump administration and working his ass off to eliminate fraud, waste, abuse, corruption. That's it. That's all. I started to think of various things Democrats have protested in recent years. Again, BLM, they went wild. There were over 500 riots, $2 billion in property damage, 25 people lost their lives. 2,000 cops were injured when they were violently protesting the death of George Floyd. I mean, you see it every once in a while. I see a big abortion protest. You see people protest about LGBT rights. Sometimes Democrats used to protest war. They were against war in the old days. Now they're for it. But generally, you can understand, at least sort of get it, why they're so angry, why they're so violent. This is different. This is insane, what we're seeing right now. Again, what did Musk do to earn their ire? What did he do to set them off? He endorsed Trump. That's bad. They don't like you. You support one of two presidential candidates. You better be careful. If it's Donald Trump, they're going to come after you. We understood that he was no longer going to be an icon, a hero to the left when he came out in support of Trump. But then he took the role with Doge. And then he started uncovering vast corruption in the federal government. It was just on a daily basis, we learned how corrupt these federal agencies were. I mean, these were amazing revelations. We went through them all. The billions of dollars USAID wasted. Actually, they didn't waste it. They laundered it. We heard all the programs, the phony front groups that they were shoveling money to, and they were getting kickbacks. America should celebrate this, unless you're one of the Democrats who was stealing money and getting rich. I mean, the guy volunteered. He's a brilliant man. He has a brilliant team, and they're doing something that every president has vowed to do in my lifetime, Democrat and Republican: uncover corruption, fraud, waste, save the taxpayers' money. That's it. For that, they're trying to destroy his company. For that, they want him dead. Someone is going to die. I'll just say that right now. Someone is going to die. They are firebombing Tesla dealerships. They are firing guns at Tesla dealerships, at Cybertrucks. The inevitable next step of this is someone will die. Some Tesla owner, some Tesla salesman, some innocent bystander. That's how it's going to go. Will they condemn it then? Will we hear Democrat leaders come out? Will AOC and Chuck Schumer and Liz Warren come out and condemn it? Try to find a Democrat condemning this violent outburst from people who are angry that corruption is being exposed. I love Elon Musk. I mean, he's always been just an incredible innovator. He is our Edison. He's our Henry Ford. He's an amazing entrepreneur, inventor, a brilliant man. He's got brains, but you know what else he's got? He's got balls, man. He has huge ones. He knows his life is in danger. He knows it's costing him billions and billions of dollars, and he's not stopping. He's coming at, he's not stopping. I think they have lit a fire, metaphorically, under Elon Musk. They have motivated him to go harder at this. He's trying to save your country. He said it over and over. Your country's headed for bankruptcy. Your country's $37 trillion in debt, and he's trying to fix that. And he's the best man for the job. He knows how to build companies and run them right and make a profit. And now he's trying to do it with the federal government. And Democrats, liberals, left-wingers, the media, they want to stop him. This is such a pivotal moment in American history, what we're seeing right now. We have one side that wants to save your country, and we have the other side who just wants to destroy it, who wants to set it on fire, who wants to destroy things, destroy a great American company. Musk went on last night on Fox News and had his little space jacket on. This was an incredible day for Musk, an incredible day for SpaceX. And half the country understood that and celebrated it and tipped our caps to this great man. And at the same time, he has to go to bed wondering, actually he doesn't, I don't think he sleeps, but he has to stop and think, is it worth it? I'm trying to save this country, and tens of millions of people are trying to destroy me because of it. They're leading boycotts. They're happy. The people driving Teslas are now wondering, is someone going to shoot me? Is someone going to burn my car, paint a swastika on it? Again, why? What did he do? Why are you so upset? Because we no longer are going to fund, drag shows in Bolivia or condoms in Gaza or Sesame Street in Iraq, because we are no longer going to allow Democrats to use NGOs and nonprofits to funnel money to their friends. That's what he's exposed. That's what he's trying to stop. And they want him dead. I know he has a lot of security. I know he has his own team and Secret Service. I know he's a smart, careful man. But he knows what he's doing has put his life in danger, and he's doing it anyway. He's powering on. If he were on the other side, if he were Democrat, working with a Democrat president, he'd be winning awards. He'd be the toast of Hollywood. They'd have they'd be putting medals around his neck today. He would be a god to these people, but they hate him because he has shined the light on them, because we're learning what criminals, what crooks they are. Here he is last night talking about all these violent attacks on his company and the efforts by Democrats to destroy his company. We'll get to Tim Walz and Jimmy Kimmel and many others of these absolute scumbags who are hoping, they're hoping someone gets a clean shot at Musk. They really are. Here's Musk.
They're firebombing dealerships. They're firing bullets into dealerships. They're just, smashing up Teslas. Tesla is a peaceful company. We've never done anything harmful. I've never done anything harmful. I've only done productive things. So I think we just have a deranged. There's some kind of mental illness thing going on here, because this doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah, and I think there are larger forces at work as well. I mean, I don't know who's funding it and who's coordinating it, because this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this.
You actually tweeted out, and I'll put it on the screen, the level of violence is insane. It is deeply wrong. Tesla just makes electric cars and has done nothing to deserve these evil attacks.
He makes electric cars, and they're setting them on fire. Man, if you're a Democrat, you have lost your way. You've been saying for years that we're all going to die. Climate change, global warming. We need to drive electric cars. Hell, the last administration mandated EVs, insisted you get an EV. And now if you get an EV, your life is in danger. Now if you get an EV, a Democrat might set it on fire. They might firebomb it. Man, the latest, that was, you saw some video from Las Vegas. A guy with Molotov cocktails set a bunch of Teslas on fire, fired a gun into a number of Teslas. The FBI, the real FBI, not the Biden FBI, the actual FBI with Kash Patel and Dan Bongino is on the scene and investigating. The only way this ends is if they catch these people and put them in prison. And I mean 10, 15, 20 years. This cannot be a redo of BLM, Summer of Love. We cannot hear about people going to jail for a weekend or having charges dropped or probation or fines. That has to end. There has to be real consequences or it will continue. This is from Newsweek this morning. Cybertruck set ablaze, showrooms defaced, and charging stations shot at. A wave of attacks on Tesla properties has been reported across the country. Tesla CEO's increasing influence in the White House under President Trump appears to have made his electric vehicle company a target for political backlash, and they run through it. I mean, some of this stuff doesn't even get covered. In Tigard, Oregon, gunshots were fired at a Tesla dealership, damaging vehicles. A second shooting occurred at the same location a couple days later. Linwood, Washington, 6 Tesla vehicles were vandalized, including one that was defaced with swastikas. In Dedham, Massachusetts, 3 Teslas were vandalized with spray-painted graffiti and tire damage. In Seattle, 4 Tesla Cybertrucks destroyed at a dealership in Littleton, Massachusetts. Multiple Tesla vehicles were vandalized at a Tesla dealership, according to police. On March 2nd, "No Musk" was written in red spray paint on the windows of a Tesla dealership in Maryland. This goes on and on. There are dozens of attacks from violent, evil people angry at the man for trying to save their country. I mean, I know I've said it before, but you, Democrats, you have reached a new low. This is a new low. You have gone from just being an unpopular resistance to violent thugs, to vandals who belong in prison. We need arrests. We've had enough of this. We need arrests. And it would be bad enough if they were, people, decent people, law-abiding people were all in agreement that this is wrong. Again, try to find prominent Democrats who are vehemently condemning this. Quite the opposite. You have people, prominent Democrats, leaders of the party, who are attacking Musk, calling him a Nazi, and encouraging this. This is what they want. This is the goal, to intimidate Musk to the point where he quits. Well, then it's not going to happen. I don't know if you remember Tim Walz, a little kind of weird, creepy guy. He was almost vice president. He's the governor of Minnesota still, which is hard to believe. Tim Walz now thinks he's a comedian. Tim Walz goes on stage. I guess he thinks he's delivering some stand-up routine here, and celebrates the damage these people, these violent criminals, have done to a great American company. Watch this.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you.
What does that even mean? Take dental floss and take the Tesla thing off?
He's talking about debadging the car.
So no one will know it's a Tesla if you take the little T off the back.
There's no giveaways when you look at those things.
This disgusting, vile, repugnant little punk. He's a governor. I just looked it up. Tesla employs 120,000 people in America. Good jobs at good wages. Elon Musk is the single biggest taxpayer in this country. There's nobody who's achieved more, accomplished more, employed more people, done more for the American economy than Elon Musk. And this piece of garbage, Tim Walz, who's never had a real job, who's been a liar and a fraud his whole life, who lied about his service, who lied about everything, who lied about coaching. He's a governor, and there's a bunch of dealerships in Tesla and manufacturing in Minnesota. People employed in Minnesota, and their governor is celebrating the fact that the stock is dropping because waves of violent punks, thugs, and scum are terrorizing the company. Get Jimmy Kimmel up here. Jimmy Kimmel, another icon of the left, another prominent Democrat. He's happy. He's thrilled. They're setting Teslas on fire. What do you bet this asshole had a Tesla till 2 weeks ago? And like Mark Kelly traded it in for an SUV because he's so concerned about climate change. But anyway, he thinks it's funny that they're firebombing, throwing Molotov cocktails, shooting bullets into dealerships, trying to kill Tesla dealers, Tesla owners. This piece of shit, God, he is just vile. He is disgusting. Here he is, yucking it up about the threats against Tesla.
Down other than the stock market for a change. Our co-president, Elon Musk, sent a SpaceX vehicle to bring the astronauts back, and when they landed, he fired them immediately upon landing. Tesla stock is way down, almost disastrously so. People have been vandalizing Tesla vehicles, new Tesla vehicles. Please don't vandalize. Don't ever vandalize Tesla vehicles. And so Elon Musk has been making the rounds in the right-wing media to try to appear to be a human being. Yesterday, he was guest of honor on the Ted Cruz podcast, where Sweaty Teddy, Ted Cruz seems everything.
Enough of this. Enough of this. Oh, I can't even look at him. I hate this guy so much. God, he's disgusting.
Don't do that to Teslas. Okay.
No, don't do that. And they all laugh. And they laugh. They cheer when he talks about the stock falling. How many Americans, how many retirees, how many people have Tesla stock in their 401ks? How many people work, depend on Tesla? Hundreds of thousands. And he's laughing. They're laughing. God, they've gone from being, wrong-headed, misguided, to being evil. This is evil, what they're doing. Firebombing dealerships and then laughing about it is pure evil. These people are just absolute scum. Oh, it's disgusting. Speaking of scum, we got so much more to get to. We have more from Twinkie Tim the Twink, Tampon Tim. He wants to fight. I'm ready to go whenever you want, Tim. And we got Chucky Schumer. He's on with his people, the girls, the ladies, the hens of the View. Yeah, Chucky belongs with the hens. And big news, by the way. You thought Donald Trump was president? You thought he was commander-in-chief? You thought he earned 77 million votes and was allowed to run the executive branch? You are wrong. We are now run. The government is run. We are being governed by activist left-wing judges. Yeah, they're now making the calls, running the military, deciding who gets hired and fired. They are out of control. We'll tell you about that and more. But first.
Excuse me.
Going online without ExpressVPN is like leaving your kids with the nearest stranger while you go to the restroom. They're probably not a kidnapper or a serial killer, but why would you ever take that chance? Every time you connect to an unencrypted network in cafes, hotels, airports, whatever, your online data is not secure. Any hacker on the same network can gain access to and steal your personal data, passwords, bank logins, credit cards, all of it. ExpressVPN stops hackers from stealing your data by creating a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. Plus, ExpressVPN works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay secure when you're on the go. It also comes with Identity Defender, a new suite of tools to get your data removed from data brokers, alert you when your data appears on the dark web, and even insure you against data theft for up to $1 million. For me, having online identity protection like ExpressVPN is a no-brainer. I've had my share of problems with online theft before, and it's just not worth the risk. Secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/Jerry. That's expressvpn.com/Jerry to find out how you can get 4 extra months free. Go to expressvpn.com/Jerry. Tampon Tim was out front. Here's what he tweeted, by the way. He tweeted, if you need a little boost during the day, check out Tesla stock. This is, again, a governor, a presidential candidate, celebrating that an American company is struggling. So Musk responded. Musk is great at this. He never loses his sense of humor. He's a good troll. He says, sometimes when I need a little boost, I look at the J.D. Vance portrait in the White House and thank the Lord. Me too. It is incredible that this disgusting man was almost vice president, which means almost president. That's how far gone the Democrats are. They anointed Kamala Harris, the dumbest presidential candidate in history, as their candidate, and she picked this clown, this cartoon character, this sitcom dad, this absolute buffoon. She chose him to be vice president. She could have picked anybody. Oh, well, not the Jewish guy, because that would have upset her Muslim supporters, but she could have picked anyone. She picked him. Thank God she did. I'm not sure it would have turned out the way it did if she had a competent, respectable VP, but she didn't go that way. She decided to pick this fool. He's ready to fight, by the way. He wants to kick some MAGA ass. Listen to him.
How do you fight it?
This
I
notion
think
of
I could
tax.
kick most of their ass. I do think that if they wanted to. I know I can outrun them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here, type of thing.
It's the only way he can win is if it's predetermined.
That's true. Kick MAGA ass. They have the list of potential candidates in 2028, and he's on the list all the time. And I sit there and I say, please run, Timmy, run. We need him on that debate stage. We need him as at least in the field to be the nominee in 2028. Of course, he's no more embarrassing than any of the other. The list is, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Gavin Newsom, Eric Swalwell, Kamala Harris. They have nothing. Chucky Schumer went on The View and he started bragging about how we have a great bench. We have great senators, great congressmen and governors. Okay, name 3, Chucky. You can't. There's nobody. I mean, the only guy who they could nominate who would have a chance would be Newsom because he's articulate and he's smart. He's evil. He's a disgrace as a governor, a total disaster. But at least you could picture him debating. You think Jasmine Crockett or Tim Walz could get up there and debate J.D. Vance? It'd be a joke. But this is how low Chucky Schumer has fallen. He had a book tour planned because he got a book about anti-Semitism. I guess it's an autobiography because he's done nothing to combat anti-Semitism. But he canceled all his events because he knows the far left, the violent left on the Democrat Party would come after him. They'd be protesting. They'd be disrupting his events. But he found a soft landing place with his fellow liberals on The View. And man, I'm not sure Chucky's long for this job. They're pissed at him, and he's not digging himself out of this hole, not doing himself any favors. He explains why who the Democrats are who are fighting, who they're battling with, and that would be people who work hard, small business owners, people out there earning a living, who don't like to pay taxes, who don't like to give 40% of their income to the federal government so they can fund drag shows in Ecuador. Those are the people that Democrats are doing battle with. Listen to Chucky with The View, with the hens of The View yesterday.
And you know what their attitude is? I made my money all by myself. How dare your government take my money from me? I don't want to pay taxes. Or I built my company with my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how I should treat my customers, my the land and water that I own, or my employees? They hate government. Government's a barrier to people, a barrier to stop them from doing things. They want to destroy it. We are not letting them do it, and we're united.
Yeah, that's inspiring. Maybe Chucky will be the nominee in 2028. By the way, he's reading. He's got it all written down. That's why he has his glasses on, because he's reading the script. We're united. We're going to fight. We're going to fight. Well, he acquiesced and went along with the continuing resolution last week. And the Democrats, the left, the AOCs, the Ayanna Presleys, they hate him right now. They want him out. They're not doing well in this first term of Trump. They got nothing. I shouldn't say they have nothing. They always have the mainstream media on their side. That goes without saying. They have Hollywood. They have music. They have the Dropkick Murphys, who did a concert at St. Patrick's Day and went off on some fan who bought a ticket for wearing a MAGA hat. And then, of course, they called Musk Nazis, and they condemned Musk for, trying to reform the federal government. But you know what they do have? Judges. Lots of judges. That's what the Democrats have going for them. Activist judges, left-wing judges. This is almost hard to believe. Now, we talked a lot about what Judge Boasberg did in ordering the planes full of terrorists, planes full of gang members that were heading from Texas down to El Salvador, tried to order them to come back. And he was too late. Oopsie. as the president of El Salvador said, oopsie, too late. But he's not slowing down. He's going to continue to try to legislate from the bench and stop anything and everything Trump has done. In the last 2 months since Trump took office, there's been 129 legal challenges by activist left-wing judges. That's all they got at this point. Some left-wing activist brings to the attention of a left-wing judge, and then they issue an injunction and they try to stop whatever Trump is doing. It's hard to believe. That was bad. This is worse. They're now ordering. I just made a list of things judges have done to stop Trump. Of course, they're trying everything they can to stop Doge. Let's see. Left-wing judge Ana Del Alba, the first LGBTQ judge on the federal bench in D.C. She said Trump can't fire USAID workers. So that scandal that Doge uncovered, that USAID is just this out-of-control organization that gets $40 billion a year and gives it to well-connected Democrats. They exposed that. They stopped that. The country celebrated. And this wacko, look at her. Does she not look exactly? If you're not watching along, let me just tell you, Judge Ana de Alba looks exactly like you'd picture. Exactly. Got the glasses, got the hair, just looks like what she is, a left-wing activist on the bench. Says you can't fire these crooks at USAID that were stealing billions from taxpayers. Then we have Judge Anna Reyes. She said the Pentagon can't enforce the ban on transgender soldiers. So Trump and Pete Hegseth said no more trans soldiers. Obviously, I mean, you don't. They're concerned with readiness, with lethality, and they said no more of this cosplaying by men trying to pretend to be women in the military. They said no. So now they're a judge in D.C., unelected, left-wing kook, says we're going to tell you who can be in the military. And then, of course, we have Tanya Chutkin, perhaps the judge most consumed with Trump derangement, big January 6er, didn't mind, putting people in jail, no bail, wouldn't move the trials, just did everything to destroy the lives of every January 6er. She blocked Trump from canceling climate scams. We talked about Lee Zeldin at the EPA, uncovering $20 billion in climate scams. Obviously, they're not real. Here it is. One day alone, the judges ordered Elon Musk to reinstate USAID workers, Trump to state disclose where flights are leaving with terrorists, reinstated transgender policy in the military, and reinstated Department of Education grants. So everything Trump and Musk have done, everything in the last 2 months, they've tried to undo from the bench. It's out of control. These people, I mean, I don't think they can impeach them. That's too much. They can defund them. That's the next step, defund them. This Chutkin ruling is amazing, though. She ordered them to name people in Doge, she wants to dox from the bench, dox Doge workers who are uncovering all these scandals and saving taxpayers billions. And we know every climate program is a scam. We know that. Everybody knows that. Everyone knows Stacey Abrams got $2 billion to buy appliances for people to help, change the weather. Obviously, it's a scam. We know it. They order all that money reinstated. So they want to continue to steal from taxpayers from the bench. Here are the programs, the groups that must be refunded: Climate United, Coalition for Green Capital, and Power Forward Communities. Climate groups getting $14 billion from the federal government to launder money to Democrats. And this judge says they have to give it back. You can't take that away. They are continuing the scams. They are protecting the scams from the bench. Trump's Trump's the commander in chief. He's the top executive. And they're telling him what he has to do in the executive branch. They're ordering him to hire people that they fired to save taxpayers' money, to stop the scams. Hell, a judge ordered him to reinstate the websites that Biden had, crazy websites about DEI. A judge issued a order saying they have to put the websites back up. So a president can't decide what he wants on a presidential website, on the website for the executive branch. You must put those DEI pages back up. A judge who got no votes, who was elected by nobody. They are out of control. These executives, these legislators from the bench are out of control. And of course, Judge Roberts, who was just a swamp creature and a coward. What did he do? Did he come out and admonish these judges? Of course not. He admonished Trump for criticizing the judge, Boasberg, who wants to bring back all the TDA terrorists, bring them back to your community. That is the new obsession with the left, with the media. Let's find one person, one who got swept up incorrectly in these deportations. Find one. And you know what they found? Some guy who's got gang tattoos and says, I'm not in a gang. I just like the tattoos. I watched a report on this morning on MSNBC. They show the guy. He's got gang tattoos. And they say, oh, he's not in. His family said he's not in a gang. He just likes tattoos. That's what they have sunk to, defending tatted up Venezuelan gang members and telling you that they're not really gang members. They just fell in with the wrong crowd. They just picked the wrong tattoo. Good luck with that. We got to get to that too, man. This is a battle I'm ready to have. Trump is trying to remove the worst people in the world, and Democrats, the media, the New York Times, they're upset. They want TDA, MS-13 in your neighborhood, and they're not going to stop till those guys, those wonderful guys, are back in the United States. We'll get to that and more, but first.
Excuse me.
All right, a reminder to pick up your Callahan coffee. It's simple. And by the way, I heard lots of reviews over the weekend. I told you I saw a lot of people, and they all tell me how good the Callahan coffee is. Proudly roasted to order in Waltham, Mass. We ensured that you're getting the freshest and highest quality coffee beans possible, delivered right to your door. Try it. Check it out. Just go to CallahanCoffee.com or click the link in our social media bio to order now.
Hi, it's Tony Marino, host of the super popular Newsmax Daily Podcast, a rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of Newsmax shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yucks, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the Newsmax Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Gerry Callahan at newsmax.com/listen.
All right, the fight is on. Trump and his team, Tom Homan, Stephen Miller, they're doing their best to protect Americans, whether they like it or not. They're doing their best to get these scumbags out of your country. They've been designated foreign terrorists. Foreign terrorists. The people on that plane, the people you saw being dragged off that plane and into a mega prison in El Salvador, they're murderers, they're drug dealers, they're rapists, they're the worst of the worst. These are same people who murdered Jocelyn Nungary, who murdered Lake and Riley. These are people who took over apartment complexes under Joe Biden. Joe Biden flew them into the country. Joe Biden flew thousands of illegal aliens from Haiti, from Venezuela, from Guatemala, flew them into the country, and not one judge tried to stop him. Not one judge issued an injunction, an order, saying you can't do that. Trump is trying to fly them out. He is flying them out, and the judges are trying to stop him. The left-wing judges, Democrats right now, are doing what they can to keep violent gang members, criminals, murderers here. They want them here. That is the new policy. And I believe it was the New York Times asked Caroline Levitt about this yesterday. Of course, they want all these gang members to make sure that they get lawyers and translators and due process. They don't get that. Foreign terrorists don't get that. I hate to break it to you. They're not Americans. They don't have that right. They can be removed. It's clear as can be, by the way. I know we went over this yesterday, the aliens, alien, whatever it is, Invasion Act. Stephen Miller went over it line by line. It couldn't be clearer. He has a right to do this. They can't stop him, and he's going to continue to do it. And that's where you're at. If you're a Democrat, you have to say, please don't remove violent gang members with face tats and ARs who are taking over apartment buildings. Please, you can't do that. Good luck with that. Here's Caroline Levitt when asked. She does a great job in like less than a minute explaining who Trump is kicking out of the country. Go ahead.
Remind everybody in this room that Tren de Aragua is a foreign terrorist organization operating within the United States of America because the previous administration allowed them to invade our country. These are monsters who tortured, raped, and murdered a 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungre. They murdered 22-year-old nursing student Laken Riley. They led a multi-sex state sex trafficking operation involving smuggling women into the United States, holding them in stash houses in Louisiana, Florida, New Jersey, Texas, and Virginia, and forcing them into prostitution. And they kidnapped and murdered a 33-year-old woman in Texas. They sexually and physically assaulted a woman and her daughter in Wisconsin. They conducted a mass shooting in Illinois. They peddled untraceable ghost guns across New York City, took over an Aurora, Colorado apartment complex where they kidnapped and tortured victims. And by the way, many of you in the mainstream media said that didn't happen. It turned out that it did. And because of the effective immigration policies of this administration, those foreign terrorists were detained and they are no longer operating on American soil. And we have President Trump to thank for that.
Any questions? Any questions? Can you imagine KJP doing that? No notes. I mean, not reading, no teleprompter, just listing the things these monsters did.
I want to be perfectly clear that they're not breaking the law. That'd be.
I'll have to get back to you, and I'll circle back on that. Yeah. But think about it. There's 10, 12, 15 million illegals in the country. The Trump team, Holman, Miller, had a long time. They've had at least 6 months, probably a year, to plan this, to think about this. They knew what they were doing. They knew that these were the worst of the worst. You know how they knew? Because they have tattooed on their faces that say they're in that gang. They knew because we have video. We know who took over that apartment complex in Aurora. They knew they were rounding up the worst of the worst. And there may be some mistakes. Maybe one guy gets swept up accidentally and they find out, they correct it, they send him home. So what? We're at war. Trump's right. This was an invasion. These people were sent by the Venezuelan government to destabilize our country. You would think we could all agree our country is better off without them here. You think we could agree to that? But no, they want TDA guys here and they want Musk gone. That's what they want. They want Musk deported and they want TDA killers, rapists, gangbangers returned to our country. I think I have that right. They want them brought back and given all their rights. Again, they have no rights. They are gang members, foreigners, terrorists, criminals.
When you spell it out that way, it's even more preposterous.
Isn't it great? She's good at that, man. And so obviously so is Stephen Miller, who's laid it out. Let me see. Are they blocking more Trump moves today? It's amazing. It's amazing. These are people who didn't mind when J6ers were denied their rights, who didn't mind when Joe Biden ignored court orders, ignored the Supreme Court, and bailed out deadbeats with graduate degrees, and then bragged about it. And nobody tried to stop him because all these judges are Democrats. They're far left judicial activists. And it's frustrating, but Trump is going to go to battle with them, and the country will be rooting for him. All right, before we go, we got any more attacks on Teslas? Can you put that video up for from Las Vegas.
The one of the fire or the one of the guy?
The fire. Oh, yeah, let's do both. Let's do both. Here's the beauty. These things, this stuff is all on camera. The guy who firebombed the cars in Vegas, they see him. He's on camera. He had Molotov cocktails. Here's a guy keying at Tesla in California. These Teslas are covered with cameras, by the way. Everything's covered with cameras. And he's keying a Tesla because what? Why would this aging hippie in California be that upset to destroy someone's property? He gets caught. Watch this.
Did you just key a Tesla the other day?
What?
You're on video. Yeah. This is the guy. You just keyed a Tesla. You got a video online. I just saw it. It's all over the fucking face. The media.
You know, Tesla.
Yes, you did. You keyed a Tesla in a parking lot somewhere around here. What do you got to say about that?
I didn't do that. Now we're watching him key a Tesla.
It's great that they always forget there's cameras on them.
Serious. I mean, what a sicko. I mean, this only goes one way. This doesn't work the other way. If there's some left wing, I mean, no one's keying, George Alex Soros's car. No one's. There you go, bud. You're on camera. Okay, this only ends when this guy is in handcuffs, when this guy's before a judge, when this guy goes to prison. It won't end. It'll be just like 2021. It'll be just like the George Floyd riots. If the guy who did this to a Las Vegas Tesla dealership, and you could see him, I mean, it's hard to see him, but you could see him. He's got a gun. He's got Molotov cocktails. The FBI is supposedly there investigating. Cameras all over the place. If they catch this guy and he doesn't do 20 years, it will continue. That is the only way to stop this. And again, they're used to not being held accountable because they weren't held accountable for 4 years under Joe Biden. Don't forget, 2 lawyers in New York firebombed a police car trying to kill cops. They were caught with a bunch of Molotov cocktails. One did like 10 months. The other did a year. The Biden administration intervened and made sure that they didn't do hard time. That's the way it worked. We had a lawless administration for 4 years. That has to end, or this will never end. We need these vandals. We need these anarchists to go to prison. We need deterrence. I think the video of the TDA guys being sent to El Salvador is a great deterrent, but that has to just be a start. We need to put these people in prison. We need them to be dealt with as what they are. They're anarchists, violent anarchists. We have to protect this great American company. We have to protect Musk at all costs. Someone is going to die. Hopefully it's one of these idiots. By the way, a guy in South Carolina who set a Tesla on fire, set himself on fire. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful video. Yes, he torched a Tesla, and I think he wasn't the smartest guy in the world. I think he might have been trans too. Half these people are trans. It's weird. A lot of violent trans people out there. Yeah. And he set himself on fire, and he got caught. And now he has to. Hopefully, it's South Carolina. Hopefully, he goes to prison. Hopefully, they all go to prison. But we will see. Once again, congratulations to Elon Musk, to SpaceX, to Sonny, and Butch and Sonny. Hopefully Sonny's okay. Like I said before, she didn't look good. Her president left her in space for 9 months. You know what? I've been reading a lot, watching a lot of coverage of this. It's unbelievable. The mainstream media, for the most part, doesn't mention the fact that Joe Biden left these people in space for 9 months because Musk endorsed Trump, because Musk is a Trump guy. That was your president. That was the guy they used to call, a regular Joe, compassionate and empathetic. He is such a vile, contemptible human being. Left these two in space, risked their lives because Musk supported Trump. Wouldn't let SpaceX go up there in August to September. Left them there till March. And now poor Sonny is struggling to regain her health. Good luck to her. But if she's got some issues, you know who to blame. Joe Biden left you there, Sonny. Anyway, that will do it for today. What a wild day. What a wild week. It's only Wednesday, man. JFK files. We're going to get to those tomorrow. We're going to get, there's some good stuff in there, but I'm going to read all 80,000 pages. Actually, Ironhead, I'll read a couple hundred. You read the rest. Okay. You ready? You get time?
Sounds good. I'm really good at reading.
I want you to read 80,000 pages and highlight it for me, would you? You got your highlighter?
Got my highlighter.
Good. So highlight that for me so we can talk about it tomorrow. But that will do it for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'm Gerry Callahan. This is The Callahan Show, and we'll do it again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Oh, my God. Is she crazy?
Thank you
Wow.
all. Thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, too many thank yous.